Next, we can derive the expressions for equations of motion. We had also studied about equations of motion in our class 9 physics. Can you recall the three equations of motion put forward by Newton? V equal to U plus AT. That is the first equation of motion, and it gives us the relation between velocity and time. So this relation is also known as velocity-time relation. And the second equation of motion is S is equal to ut plus half at square. And this equation gives us the relation between position and time. So this is known as the position-time relation. Third equation of motion is v square minus u square is equal to 2as. And this gives us the relation between velocity and position. So this relation is also known as the position-velocity relationship. These are the three equations of motion put forward by Newton, and we have derived these three equations of motion from the velocity time graph. We used the graph shown on the screen for this purpose. Okay, so how can we derive the first equation of motion, that is v equal to u plus at? So for that we need to just modify this graph, velocity time graph. So we can draw a line normal to this line. Then we can name the graph as A, B, C, D. Let this point be E. Okay. Now, what is OA? Certain data are obtained from the graph. So let me note that data first. What is OA? OA means this distance, and what is that? That is our initial velocity u. So that is the object is moving with some initial velocity, that is u. And B is the final point of the object, final position of the object. So the velocity corresponding to that final position is final velocity v. So OE, this distance, OE can be considered as final velocity v. Okay, v. Then OC, this is OC. OC is equal to AD. AD and OC are parallel to each other. So OC is equal to AD is equal to time t. So here at the same time this OA is equal to CD, right? So OA can be written as equal to CD. OA equal to CD equal to U. At the same time, OE is equal to BC. OE equal to BC equal to V. Okay, so these are some of the data obtained from the graph. What are the data? OA equal to CD equal to U, initial velocity, because both sides are parallel. Then OE equal to BC, that is equal to final velocity V. And OC equal to AD, this is AD, OC equal to AD, and that is equal to time because it is parallel to the time axis. Then we can move on to our derivation. Here first we start with the BC. What is BC from the graph? BC is BD plus DC, right? So we can write BC is equal to BD plus DC or CD. Now, therefore BD equal to BC minus DC. Okay, equal to, what is BC? Here it is written BC is final velocity V. So BC is V minus, what is DC? DC or CD? DC or CD is U, our initial velocity U. Then, so this is BD. BD is equal to V minus U. At the same time, we know the acceleration equation A is equal to V minus U by T. right? And from this equation, let it be equation number 1. From this equation, we have got an expression for v minus u. What is that? V minus u is bd. So instead of v minus u, we can write bd by t, which gives bd equal to at. Okay, because a equal to bd by t, therefore bd is equal to at. So let this be our equation number 2. Now look at the equations 1 and 2. What is the LHS of that equation? LHS of both the equations are same, BD. So what will be the RHS? We can equate the RHS of both the equations. And when we equate the RHS of both equations, you will get V minus U equal to AT. So children, I am going to rub all these things. If you want, you can take a screenshot of all these things because it won't be there in your textbook. So take a screenshot of this slide. Okay, so let me rub all these things. So children, these are the two equations, BD equal to V minus U, BD equal to AT. Since LHS are same, we can equate the RHS. On equating RHS, we will get V minus U equal to AT. Therefore, V equal to minus U, take to RHS part. So it will become plus U, U plus AT. So we have derived our first equation of motion, V equal to U plus AT. Okay. Children, next let's discuss the derivation of the second equation of motion, that is S is equal to ut plus half at square. For that, we are dividing our graph to two regions, 1 and 2. And the region 1 represents that of a triangle, region 2 represents that of a rectangle. We are supposed to find out the displacement now. In order to derive the second equation of motion, we are supposed to find out the displacement. And I had told in the previous session, displacement is obtained by finding the total area below the velocity time graph. And the total area below this graph has been divided into two areas. First is triangular area and the second one that of a rectangular area. So the total area will be the area of rectangle ABD plus area of triangle ABD plus area of rectangle AO or OADC. Okay, so let's find out the total area. Total area is area of triangle ADB. And how will you find out the area of triangle? Equation is half into BH. Half into base into height. And what is the base? Equal to half into, from the diagram, base is AD into, what is the height? Height is BD. And what is this BD? BD is plus area of rectangle. What is the area of rectangle? Length into breadth. That is the equation. So here length is OC. And what is OC? OC. And breadth is OA. Okay. Equal to, then make the necessary substitution. AD for AD, BD, OC and OA equal to half into AD. What is AD? AD is equal to T BD. From the previous equation of motion, we got BD is nothing but AT plus DC. What is DC? DC is U. Again, OA is T. All these data are given here. Just look at that data. Okay. So you will get equal to U into T. You can write UT first. UT plus half AT into T square. So this is the total area, and this total area itself will be the displacement S. So we got our second equation of motion, displacement S is equal to UT plus half AT square, which is our position time relationship. Okay. Now next derive the third equation of motion, that is V square minus U square is equal to 2AS. Okay, again we are supposed to find out the displacement, and area below the velocity time graph gives us the displacement. But here, in order to derive this particular equation of motion, we are considering the area below the graph as a whole. We are not dividing this area into two as we did for the previous case. And this area represents that of a trapezium. Okay, trapezium OABC. And what is the equation to find out area of trapezium? Area of trapezium is half into sum of parallel sides. Sum of parallel sides into height or base. This is the equation. So just substitute equal to half into, which are the parallel sides for this trapezium OABC. OA and BC. These are the parallel sides. So OA plus BC, sum of parallel sides into height or base, which is the base for this trapezium. OC is the base. Then do the substitution equal to half into OA plus BC. What is OA? OA is U. And what is BC? BC is V into OC. What is OC? OC is T. Next we want to do a substitution for T. So children, let me rub this. If you want, you can take the screenshot. So we got area A equal to half into U plus V. U plus V can be written as V plus U, right? V plus U into T. And what is the substitution for T? We know acceleration A is equal to V minus U by T, right? From this, what will be T? Therefore, T is equal to V minus U by A. So just substitute this expression in this equation. So you will get area A equal to half into V plus U into, what is T now? It is V minus U by A. So in the denominator we have 2 and A. So write it together, equal to 1 by 2A into V plus U into V minus U. It is in the form A plus B into A minus B. What is A plus B into A minus B? A square minus B square. So V plus U into V minus U will be V square minus U square. So we got area as 1 by 2A into V square minus U square. And this area itself will be our displacement S. Now cross multiply this 2A to the RHS part. So you will get V square minus U square is equal to 2A into S. Thus we have derived our third equation of motion. V square minus U square equal to 2AS. Okay, so with this our equations of motion and derivations are over. Now free fall. What do you mean by free fall? Whenever an object moves under the influence of gravity alone, it will be a free fall. Parachute landing on the surface is an example for free fall. And when you drop a stone from the second floor of any building, the stone falls down. It will be a free fall, because in all such cases the motion is completely influenced by the gravitational force alone, if we neglect the air resistance. Okay, so that is about free fall. And in the case of free fall, these three equations of motion gets modified. We know in the case of free fall, the object is falling down. So in such case, the acceleration is along the negative y-axis. So acceleration can be taken as negative. So, and also it will be our acceleration due to gravity, g. We had studied it in the 9th standard physics. So in the case of free fall, acceleration is acceleration due to gravity, and that acceleration due to gravity is minus g, because it is along the negative y-axis and its value is minus. What is the value of g? It is 9.8 meter per second square. Now, what is the first equation of motion? It is v is equal to u plus at. So for a free fall, how can you modify this first equation of motion? See, for the free fall, initial velocity u will be 0, because initially the object is at rest. Whenever you drop a stone, the stone is at rest initially. So initial velocity will be always 0. And substituting all these cases in the first equation, it will become v is equal to 0, initial velocity u is 0, plus acceleration. What is acceleration? It is minus g, that is minus 9.8. So it will be minus 9.8 meter per second. Okay, this will be our first equation of motion for a free fall. 8t is there, so minus 9.8 t. Okay, and what is the second equation of motion? S is equal to ut plus half at square. What is the second equation of motion? S is equal to ut plus half at square, and it will be modified as S is equal to u is 0, so that term will be 0. So plus half, a is minus g, and that is minus 9.8 into t square. That is minus 9.8 by 2 is 4.9 t square meter, because displacement is meter. So this is the displacement for a free fall. And the third equation of motion is v square minus u square equal to 2as. So for a free fall, it will be v square minus 0 equal to minus 2. That is, a is negative, so minus 2 gs. And what is g? 9.8 into s. Okay. And that s can be considered as y, because motion takes place in the y direction. So into 9.8 into y equal to minus 19.6 into y meter square per second square. Meter square per second square. Why? Because we got v square here. So the unit for v is meter per second. Then unit of v square will be meter square per second square. Okay, so our equations of motion get modified like this in the case of free fall. Now here are some of the graphs, acceleration time graphs for different cases of free fall. Okay, so the first graph represents acceleration with time, how the acceleration vary with respect to time. You know, for a free fall, acceleration is constant. And what is that acceleration? It is g. So there is no change in the acceleration. Acceleration remains the same. So the graph will be a straight line parallel to time axis. Also, it will be plotted along the negative y-axis, because the object is falling along the negative y direction. So this will be the graph for an object with acceleration time graph for an object under free fall. And this represents the velocity time graph for an object under free fall. This graph represents a graph for uniform acceleration, and that means acceleration will be constant. And for a free fall, acceleration will be constant. Again, it will be in the negative direction. So the graph will be like this. And this shows the graph. Which graph? Actually, it is the distance time graph for a free fall. So for a distance, when we plot it in the terms of distance and time, as the object comes down towards the earth, it is attracted by the earth, so its velocity increases and it covers more and more distance. So the graph will be a curved line like this. Okay, it will be a non-uniform motion because the velocity changes with respect to time. Since acceleration is there, so it will be a non-uniform motion and it will be a curved line. Okay, so these are the acceleration time graph, velocity time graph, and the position time graph for an object under free fall. Okay, children. With this, I am concluding my session. A YouTube video based on the topic and notes have been uploaded. Please go through that. Learn the notes and attend the test properly. We will meet in the next session. Till then, take care. Stay home, stay safe. Keep learning. Thank you.